GST refresher course. Now we are towards the end of this particular course, and as I've already mentioned quite a few times that this is certainly a very big task that I had taken, and it's a great achievement for all of us that we could complete CGST, and now we are moving towards IGST. We have already done till section 6 yesterday, and now today we'll be covering the most important sections, which will start from section 7, that is determination of the nature of supply, and then from there we'll move to the place of supply. So today's topic is going to be uh, chapter 4 and chapter 5 of the IGST Act. So just a minute. Yeah, is the screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
I'll be directly moving to section 7. Now please appreciate, friends, because GST law being a dual structured statute, a single transaction is taxable both by state as well as central authorities in case of intra-state supplies. And in case of interstate supplies, the central government is the sole authority. Central government is the authority which is allowed or which is permitted to levy and collect the tax, and then the tax has to be segregated or it has to be settled with the central government and the or between the central government and the state government in which the goods or services are being finally consumed. So when I say so determination of the nature of supply becomes very important, because unless you know it is an intra-state supply or an interstate supply, you will not be able to identify which tax is to be made applicable, whether it is CGST or SGST or it is IGST. So I would say that even after reading the entire CGST law, this becomes very important for us to understand that when a transaction can be said to be an interstate transaction or when it can become a intra-state transaction. See, practically we all are aware कि जब एक ही स्टेट में परचेज और सेल दोनों होगा, एक ही स्टेट में सप्लाई होगा, और जो सप्लायर है वो भी इसी स्टेट में है और जो रिसिपिएंट है वो भी उसी स्टेट में है, then in that case it will become a intra-state supply. And when there are two states involved or multiple states involved, then in that case it will become an interstate supply. So practically ये सबको मालूम है. What does the statute provides for? Let us go and understand that. So section 7 provides for the determination as an interstate supply. So these are the situations wherein any supply or any transaction or activity will be deemed to be an interstate supply, or rather it will fall into the not deemed to be, but it will be an interstate supply. I'm sorry, the word deemed is not appropriate. It will be an interstate supply. Subsection 1 of section 7, it says subject to the provisions of subsection 10 of section 10. Section 10 deals with the place of supply. So subject to the provisions of section 10, supply of goods where the location of the supplier and the place of supply are, yani location of supplier and the place of supply. If it is in two different states, it will be an interstate supply. If it is between two union territories, it will be an interstate supply. It will be a state within a state and a union territory, then also it will be an interstate supply. So practically it is saying that subject to the provisions of section 10, because section 10 may be providing something else. There may be a situation wherein something else is provided. So keeping that in mind, you need to determine as per section 10 certainly, but apparently the provision is where the location of the supplier and the place of supply अगर multiple states में है या multiple union territories में है या एक state और union territory में है, it will become an interstate supply and shall be treated as a supply of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Subsection 2 says supply of goods imported into the territory of India. When the goods are imported into the territory of India, then till they cross the customs frontiers of India, shall be treated to be supply of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Meaning thereby जब वो enter हो रहे हैं, जिस वक्त वो enter हो रहे हैं तब तक वो interstate माना जाएगा. एक बार enter हो गए उसके बाद आप कहीं उसको move करोगे, then it has to be depending on the location of supplier and the place of supply. Subsection 3, subject to the provisions of section 12. So section 12 deals with place of supply in case of services. तो जो subsection 1 था, that was in case of goods. Subsection 3 is now in case of services. So supply of services where the location of the supplier and the place of supply are one, in two different states, interstate supply; in two different union territories, interstate supply; a state and union territory, interstate supply. So shall be treated as supply of service in course of interstate trade or commerce. So it is now very clear कि ये interstate supply के definitions में क्या क्या आएगा. दोनों दो different states में आप काम कर रहे हो, जैसे मैंने गुजरात से दिल्ली भेजा, या मैंने दो यूनियन टेरिटरीज में सप्लाई किए, या फिर एक स्टेट और एक यूनियन टेरिटरीज के बीच में कोई सप्लाईज हुई, तो ये सारे के सारे इंटर स्टेट सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज में कवर होंगे सबसेक्शन 1 और सबसेक्शन 3 के हिसाब से. सबसेक्शन 4, सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विसेज इंपोर्टेड इनटू द टेरिटरी ऑफ इंडिया. तो अगेन इट विल बी treated to be supply of service in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So any import, तो अब आपका थंब रूल क्या हुआ, जहां लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर, आपको ये से ध्यान रखना है, लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर एंड प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई ये दोनों अलग स्टेट्स में है, तो इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. दो यूनियन टेरिटरी, लेट्स से सप्लायर का लोकेशन एक यूनियन टेरिटरी और रेसिपिएंट का या प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई जो है दूसरे यूनियन टेरिटरी का है, देन इन दैट केस इट विल बी इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. और सप्लायर का एक स्टेट और दूसरा यूनियन टेरिटरी में प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई है, देन ऑल्सो इट विल बिकम इंटरस्टेट. And in case of import, whether it is import of goods or whether it is import of services, it will become an interstate trade or commerce. Subsection 5, supply of goods or services or both, where the supplier is located in India and the place of supply is outside India. So where the supplier is in India and the place of supply is outside India, then it is interstate supply. To or by a special economic zone developer or a special economic zone unit. So what does it say? It says to means मैं डीटीए में हूँ, डोमेस्टिक टैरिफ एरिया हूँ, मैं एसईजेड को सप्लाई करता हूँ, या बाई यानी कोई एसईजेड वाला मुझे सप्लाई करता है. इन बोथ द केसेस इट विल बी इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई, मीनिंग देयर बाई पहले केस में एक्सपोर्ट हो गया जहां मैं उसको दे रहा हूँ, और दूसरे केस में वो इंपोर्ट हो गया, भले ही वो आप एक स्टेट में हो, बट इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. लेट मी टेक एन एग्जांपल. सूरत में जैसे मैं हूँ और सूरत में ही एक एसईजेड यूनिट भी होगा या एसईजेड भी एरिया होगा, तो अगर मैं उसको कोई सप्लाई करता हूँ तो भले ही वो सेम सिटी सेम शहर में और सेम स्टेट में है, बट फिर भी वो इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई माना जाएगा बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रोविजंस ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर सबसेक्शन 5. इन द टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी not being an intrastate supply and not covered anywhere in this section. So if it is not being covered anywhere in this section earlier, but something or some supply is not an intrastate supply also, yani intrastate में भी नहीं fall करता, but it is in taxable territory, the supply of goods or services or both is in taxable territory, then in that case it will become a interstate supply. So इसका मतलब हम ये भी प्रिज्यूम कर सकते हैं कि जहां पे आप उसको क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं कर पा रहे हो, डिटर्मिनेशन नहीं कर पा रहे हो, आपको ये लगता है कि इंट्रास्टेट तो नहीं है, then in that case you can presume that to be an interstate supply by virtue of clause C of section 5. Shall be treated to be supply of goods or services or both in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So I believe you are all are clear now. I'll repeat again. Section 7 subsection 1 बोलता है जब goods को आप supply करते हो तो 1 और 3 are same. Subsection 1 and subsection 3 are same because it deals with कि interstate supply कब होता है. Subsection 1 goods के लिए है, subsection 3 जो है वो services के लिए है. So when the supply or the location of supplier and the place of supply, location of supplier 1, place of supply 2, ये दोनों different states में it will be interstate supply. When it is in different states, it will be an interstate supply. When it will be in different union territories, it will be an interstate supply. And when one is in one state and the other one is union territory, it will be an interstate supply. दूसरा, import of goods में जब वो custom जब तक क्रॉस करते हैं, उसके बाद कस्टम के क्रॉस करते ही दैट बिकम्स एन इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई, टिल दे क्रॉस द कस्टम्स बैरियर इट बिकम्स एन इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई, इट इज एन इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. और इसी तरीके से सर्विसेज में जो भी सर्विसेज आप इंपोर्ट करते हो दैट इज ऑलवेज अ इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. एंड सबसेक्शन 5 इट सेज सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज और बोथ, जहां पे सप्लायर इज लोकेटेड इन इंडिया एंड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इज आउटसाइड इंडिया, इट इज एन इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई. क्लियर है? when you are making a supply to or you are taking a supply from, that means to or by a SEZ unit or a SEZ developer, so in both the cases it will become an interstate supply irrespective of the fact that it is that SEZ unit may be in the same city and within the same state, but then also it will be interstate. In the taxable territory, not being intrastate supply and not covered elsewhere in this section. तो इसमें इस सेक्शन में कहीं भी दूसरी जगह कवर्ड ना हो और वो इंटरेस्टेड भी ना हो, तो it will be an interstate supply, meaning thereby if you are unable to determine the nature, then you consider that to be an interstate supply. Shall be treated to be goods and services in the course of interstate trade. I'm skipping these notifications. Even case laws I'm skipping because in these case laws it is advanced rulings which I don't rely upon, so I'll not be dealing into that. Now directly moving to section 8, which is intrastate supply. So up till now what we have discussed is interstate supply. Now we are coming out with the understanding and determination of intrastate supply. Now friends, again I am reinstating this, again I am reiterating the fact that the determination of the nature of supply is the most important thing. We need to determine whether a transaction or an activity is an interstate transaction or an intrastate transaction, because unless we determine them as intrastate or interstate, we will not be in a position to decide whether the IGST has to be levied or CGST or SGST has to be levied. So therefore it is most important, I would say, to determine the nature of the supply, and it can be determined with the help of two aspects: one, the location, and two, the place of supply. Both we are going to deal today. Subsection 1 of section 8, it says subject to provisions of section 10, which determines the place of supply for goods. Supply of goods where the location of the supplier and the place of supply are in same state or union territory shall be treated as intrastate supply, provided that the following supply of goods shall not be treated as intrastate supply, namely. तो जहाँ पे सेम गुड सेम स्टेट या सेम यूनियन टेरिटरी में ट्रांजेक्शन हो रहा है वहां पे हमेशा इंट्रास्टेट सप्लाई होगा, लेकिन नीचे दिए हुए 3 सिचुएशंस में वो कभी भी इंट्रास्टेट नहीं होगा. पहला, सप्लाई टू or by a special economic zone developer or a special economic zone unit. So again we have read this in interstate supply already. Goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the customs frontier, again it will be always an interstate supply. We have already read in section 7. And supplies must be made to a tourist referred to in section 15. तो यहाँ पे जीएसटी के अंदर देयर इज अ कंसेप्ट ऑफ फॉरेन टूरिस्ट. जैसे आप किसी भी फॉरेन कंट्री में जाते हैं, वहां पे आप कुछ भी स्पेंड करते हैं, उसके ऊपर कोई भी वहां का वैट भरते हैं, तो जब आप एयरपोर्ट पे जब आप रिटर्न आ रहे होते हैं तो एयरपोर्ट से आपको रिफंड मिल जाता है. सिमिलर प्रोविजन इज देयर इन आईजीएसटी एक्ट सेक्शन 15 विच विल बी डीलिंग टुमारो. इन दैट सेक्शन इट इज प्रोवाइडेड कि जो फॉरेन टूरिस्ट जो आएंगे उनको आप कोई भी पेमेंट्स करोगे, इट विल ऑलवेज बी ट्रीटेड एज IGST, like in interstate supply. It will never be treated as intrastate. भले ही आपका सेम वो रहता भी वही है और यानी लोकेशन भी आपका सप्लायर का वही है और उसका रेसिडेंस भी वही है, यानी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई भी वही है, स्टिल इट विल बी डीम्ड टू बी अ इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई ऑलवेज. तो क्लॉज 3, तो ये 3 एक्सेप्शंस हैं: SEZ, इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स, एंड दी section 15 foreign tourist supplies. Subsection 2 of section 8, it says subject to the provisions of section 12. Section 12 deals with the place of supply for services. So now this subsection 2 of section 8 pertains to the determination of nature of supply as an intrastate supply in case of services. So it says subject to the provisions of section 12, supply of services where the location of the supplier and the place of supply of service are in the same state or same union territory, it becomes an intrastate supply, shall be treated as intrastate supply, provided that intrastate supply of services shall not include supply of services to or by an special economic zone or a special economic zone developer or unit. So this we have already read in section 7 कि SEZ को कोई भी आप गुड्स या सर्विसेज सप्लाई करेंगे या उससे कोई भी गुड्स या सर्विसेज लेंगे, भले ही आपके सेम सिटी में है और आधा किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस है या 5 मीटर का डिस्टेंस है, बट दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई एंड नॉट एन इंट्रास्टेट सप्लाई. Explanation 1. For the purpose of this act, an establishment in India and any other establishment outside India, an establishment in a state or union territory and any other establishment outside that state or union territory, or an establishment in a state or union territory and any other establishment registered within the state or union territory, then such establishment shall be treated as establishments of a distinct persons. तो जो डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन का कंसेप्ट हमने सेक्शन 25 में देखा था, दे आर क्लैरिफाइंग दैट इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज, भले ही आपका खुद का है, पैन नंबर आपका ही है, लेकिन चूंकि वो मल्टीपल है एंड इट इज सेपरेटली रजिस्टर्ड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ जीएसटी, इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन और डिफरेंट पर्सन. Explanation 2. A person carrying on the business through a branch or agency or a representational office in any territory shall be treated as having an establishment in that territory. So अगर कोई ब्रांच खोलता है या कोई एजेंसी का है या रिप्रेजेंटेशनल ऑफिस बना रखा है, कोई वहां से सप्लाई करता है नहीं करता, इट इज इमटेरियल बट इट विल बी ट्रीटेड दैट ही हैज एन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर टेरिटरी. So friends, this was section 8. Case laws again I will not touch. Section 9, because in this there are not so important case laws, it is advanced rulings, and advanced ruling I am not relying too much, and therefore I will not try to confuse you by reading advanced rulings. इसलिए मैं वो टच नहीं कर रहा हूँ. जहाँ पे भी हाई कोर्ट या सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट्स होंगे या आएंगे, विल सर्टनली टच अपॉन दैट. Section 9, notwithstanding anything contained in this act. So this is overriding clause. A, where the location of the supplier is in territorial waters, the location of such supplier, or where the place of supply is in territorial waters, the place of supply shall, for the purposes of this act, be deemed to be in coastal state or union territory where the nearest point of the appropriate baseline is located. So this is जहाँ पे सप्लायर टेरिटोरियल वाटर्स में है या प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई टेरिटोरियल वाटर्स में आ रही है, उस केस में जो नियरेस्ट उनका पॉइंट होगा जहाँ पे अप्रोप्रिएट बेसलाइन लोकेटेड है, दैट will be considered, or that state will be considered, or that union territory will be considered as the place of supply, as the place where the supply is made. So supply in territorial waters is anything which is written in section 7 or section 8. It is overriding that, and it is clearly saying, clause A में ये बोल रहा है कि जहाँ पे location of supplier territorial waters में है, then the location of such supplier, और जहाँ पे place of supply territorial waters में, then the place of supply shall, for the purposes of this act, for the purpose of this IGST act, will be deemed to be in coastal state or union territory जहाँ पे appropriate baseline होगा, तो वो पकड़ के आप determine करेंगे आगे सेक्शन 10, 11, 12, 13 के हिसाब से place of supply. So that is section 9. Now moving to the most important section of this particular law. चाहे आप CGST पढ़ें या आप IGST पढ़ें, you will have to always keep in mind the provisions of place of supply. सर्विस टैक्स के अंदर भी place of provision of services करके rules था, and in spite of rules now they have incorporated that as an act, and it is a part of a statute now, because rules को तो फिर भी आप challenge कर सकते हैं, statute it becomes difficult to challenge unless it is ultra virus or it is violating some of the provisions of the constitution. So now directly moving to section 10, which is chapter 5 of the IGST act. Now you will have to be along with me so that you can understand the concept of place of supply. Goods mein it is easy to understand, but in services, when we will be dealing with section 12 and 13, I will be looking forward for the 100% attentiveness of yours, so that we can really understand the provisions of this integrated tax. Section 10, it says place of supply of goods other than supply of goods into or exported from India. So अदर देन इम्पोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट, जो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई आप डिटरमाइन करेंगे यहाँ पे, जहाँ पे यानी इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि वेयर द सप्लायर एज वेल एज द रिसिपिएंट बोथ आर इन इंडिया. सिंपल इसको आप करें तो सेक्शन 10 विल बी एप्लीकेबल वेयर द सप्लायर एंड द रिसिपिएंट बोथ आर इन इंडिया. सेक्शन 10 of the IGST will be applicable so as to determine the place of supply. And now what does it say? It says place of supply of goods. So this is for goods. Other than supply of goods imported into or exported from India shall be as under. A, where the supply involves movement of goods, whether by a supplier or by recipient or by any other person, the place of supply of such goods shall be location of goods at the time at which the movement of goods terminates for the purpose of delivery to the recipient. So this is very important point. मैं आपको 3 एग्जांपल देता हूं, उससे आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा, लेकिन फर्स्ट लेट अस reiterate this and let us try to understand. It says where the supply of movements, supply of goods involves the movement, जहां पे movement आप कर सकते हो, उन केसेस में वो मूवमेंट चाहे वो सप्लायर करे या रिसिपिएंट करे या कोई भी व्यक्ति करे, जो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई होगी इट विल बी द लोकेशन ऑफ द गुड्स एट द टाइम एट विच द मूवमेंट टर्मिनेट्स फॉर डिलीवरी टू द रिसिपिएंट. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज प्रोवाइडेड इन क्लॉज ए. मीनिंग देयर बाय क्या हुआ, लेट्स से मैं सूरत बेस्ड हूं, सूरत से मैंने अहमदाबाद में सप्लाई किया, सो मूवमेंट सूरत से स्टार्ट हुआ, अहमदाबाद में खत्म हो गया, तो इट विल बी एन इंट्रा स्टेट सप्लाई बिकॉज बोथ द location of supplier which is Surat and the place of supply which is Ahmedabad, both will be within the same state. It will become a intra-state supply. So therefore the place of supply will be Ahmedabad because there the movement is getting terminated. Now second example, मैं सूरत से दिल्ली भेज रहा हूँ. So what will happen? The movement will start from Surat and it will end at Delhi, and therefore it will become an interstate supply, not an intra-state supply, and therefore IGST will be applicable. Now there may be a situation wherein the movement will be caused within the state, but the leviability of can be of IGST. So we'll be referring that in clause B. तो इतना आप खाली ध्यान रखें कि जहाँ पे टर्मिनेट होता है, where it is terminated. यहाँ पे एक एग्जांपल मैं क्लॉज ए में देना चाहूंगा, which is over the counter sale. Let's say somebody from Delhi came to my place at सूरत और मेरे काउंटर पे आके उसने कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदे और वो प्रोडक्ट्स को वो डिलीवरी वहीं पे लेके वो he has carried it off at till his place. So what will happen in that case? Whether it is going to be an IGST or whether it is going to be an CGST and IGST, meaning thereby whether it is going to be an intrastate or interstate. Because I'm again repeating the example. Let's say Mr. A comes to Surat, he purchases certain commodities from me. मैंने बिल बना दिया, उनका पेमेंट ले लिया, एंड देन ही टेक्स ऑल द आइटम्स एंड डिलीवरी लेके वो चले जाते हैं. नाउ व्हाट डज दिस प्रोविजन से? ये प्रोविजन ये बोलता है the place of supply shall be the location where the movement of goods terminates. In this example of mine, whether the movement of goods is terminating in Surat or it is going to be terminated in Delhi when he reaches his place. That is the question which needs to be answered, and it is after so many representations to the government has not clarified this, but I think this is not requiring the clarification. It is already clarified in the section itself. आप दोबारा पढ़ें क्या लिखता है ये. Where the supply involves movement of goods. Now you please be attentive. Whether by supplier or by recipient or by any other person. तो मैंने जो एग्जांपल दिया उस केस में एज अ सप्लायर आई एम नॉट मूविंग द गुड्स, द रिसिपिएंट इज मूविंग द गुड्स, and therefore even if the recipient is moving the goods, the location where the movement will terminate will become the place of supply, and therefore जब वो दिल्ली पहुंचेगा और दिल्ली में जाके वो टर्मिनेट होगा तब उसका प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई ऑटोमेटिकली आईजीएसटी का होगा, ना कि सीजीएसटी और एसजीएसटी का. अगेन इट वुड डिपेंड्स ऑन फैक्ट्स एंड सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऑफ द केस. अगर वो मेरे को दिल्ली का रजिस्ट्रेशन का दे रहा है और मैं उस दिल्ली के रजिस्ट्रेशन के एड्रेस पे इनवॉइस बना रहा हूँ तो 110% आईजीएसटी ही एप्लीकेबल होगा. लेकिन अगर वो मेरे को वो डिटेल्स नहीं दे रहा है तो मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो दिल्ली से आया है या दिल्ली ले जाने वाला है या किसी और स्टेट से आया है और वो दिल्ली का नाम बता रहा है. सो इन दैट केस आई मे अप्लाई सीजीएसटी और एसजीएसटी डिपेंडिंग ऑन द फैक्ट्स. बट prima facie the law is very clear. Either the movement can be by supplier or by the recipient, which the example which I have given, or by the other person. So who can be other person? He is a transporter. तो इवन द ट्रांसपोर्टर, तो मैंने ट्रांसपोर्टर को तो यहीं दे दिया सूरत में, लेकिन ट्रांसपोर्टर दिल्ली तक लेके गया. सो वेदर इट विल बी सीजीएसटी एसजीएसटी, बिकॉज कैन यू से दैट द मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स इज टर्मिनेटेड when you are handing over to the transporter? The I'm afraid the answer is no. जब तक वो वहां नहीं पहुंचेगा तब तक. प्लस हाउ विच काइंड ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट यू हैव. कई बार एक्स फैक्ट्री कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है जहाँ पे आपकी फैक्ट्री से वो ले गया तो सारी जवाबदारी उसकी. So even in that case, he is causing the movement of goods. So you will have to appreciate the facts, and accordingly you need to determine the place of supply, and then you need to determine what is the location of supplier, and then it will be CGST, SGST, or IGST. Moving to clause B, it says where the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient or any other person on the direction of the third person. Now please mark the word third person. Whether acting as an agent or otherwise, before or during the movement of goods, either by way of transfer of documents of title to the goods or otherwise, it shall be deemed that the said third person has received the goods, and the place of supply of such goods shall be the principal place of business of such person. ये example क्या है? This is an example of bill to ship to. Meaning thereby what you are doing is, a person who is located at Ahmedabad, he orders certain goods to be supplied to him. वो मुझे क्या बोलता है कि अविनाश फ्रॉम सूरत यू सप्लाई n नंबर ऑफ गुड्स n क्वांटिटीज टू माय दिल्ली ऑफिस and raise the invoice to me. So this is bill to ship to. I will have to raise the bill to Mr. A, who is at Ahmedabad, and then I will have to supply the goods to Mr. B, let's say Mr. B at Delhi. So this is a transaction wherein the goods are moving and the movement is getting terminated at Delhi. Movement is getting terminated at Delhi, but there is a deeming section in this particular provision, clause B, which says that it will be presumed that the third person, so यहाँ पे third person कौन हुआ? मैं supplier हुआ, जो दिल्ली में बैठा है वो recipient हुआ Mr. B. He is the recipient because he is going to receive the goods. और A जो है, he will be the third person. So third person has instructed me to supply the goods to Mr. B, and therefore it will be presumed that the third person has received the goods, and therefore the location of the third person will be the determining factor for the place of supply. और चूंकि वो विद इन स्टेट है, इट विल बिकम एन इंट्रा स्टेट सप्लाई. वेयर इसी को आप अपोजिट कर दीजिए, उल्टा कर दीजिए कि दिल्ली वाला बैठा बंदा मेरे को बोलता है कि आप सूरत से अहमदाबाद सप्लाई कर दीजिए. सो व्हाट विल हैपन, आई विल रेज अ बिल टू द दिल्ली बेस्ड पर्सन बिकॉज ही बिकम्स अ थर्ड पर्सन, एंड देयरफॉर आई विल हैव टू लेवी आईजीएसटी ऑन इट, एंड देन इन टर्न उनका जो इंटरनल रहेगा, ही विल रेज फर्दर bill to him. So this is a bill to ship to transaction. So it is very clear that the third person who is instructing, who is directing that these goods to be delivered to these person. So I need to raise the invoice to the person who is directing to me, and therefore it will be presumed that he has received the goods. Why it is being specifically provided that they are presuming, or it is deemed that they have received the goods? Because unless the presumption is there, or unless it is specifically provided in the law, there will be a problem of claiming input tax credit under section 16 subsection 2, because section 16 subsection 2 specifically says that the goods or services must be received. So इस केस में तो फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, जो मिस्टर ए है अहमदाबाद में उसको क्रेडिट ही नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि डिपार्टमेंट ये बोलेगा कि उसको तो कभी गुड्स मिले ही नहीं. So we'll have to substantiate that this is a transaction of bill to ship to, and therefore the delivery was given to Mr. X at Delhi, and the invoice was given to Mr. A at Ahmedabad, and it has to be an intra-state supply and not an interstate supply by virtue of clause B of subsection 1 to section 10. I hope it is clear, because यहाँ पे place of supply अहमदाबाद हो जाएगा और location of supplier सूरत है, तो where the place of supply and the location of supplier both are in same state, it will become a intra-state supply. So we have already read this in section 8 of the act. Moving to clause C. Friends, clause C says where the supply does not involve movement of goods, whether by the supplier or recipient, the place of supply shall be the location of such goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. Now, when can this situation arise? Because जब हमने goods का definition पढ़ा था, तो हमने पढ़ा था something which is movable is goods. So anything which is movable is goods. Anything which is not movable is never goods. So now this question says that this supply does not involve movement of goods. See, that was for determining the characteristic of the transaction or characteristic of the item which is being supplied. The characteristic may fall within the purview of goods, that is movable property, or an immovable property. But in this particular example, or in this particular provision, they intend to say that in the transaction for which you are determining the nature of supply, the movement may not happen. So then in that case, what will be the place of supply? So they are saying that the location of such goods at the time of delivery to the recipient will be the place of supply. The best example can be a lift. मैंने या एक जनरेटर सेट, मैंने एक जेनसेट आपको रेंट पे दिया था, you were using that on rent. Now after 2 years you decide to purchase it, so I'll be supplying that generator to you on papers, whereas there will be no movement caused to the generator, and therefore this will fall into this particular situation, clause C. So place of supply will be the location where the generator is already there, और मेरा location जो भी supplier का location होगा, accordingly will determine the place of supply. So this is clause C. Clause D, where the goods assembled or installed at site, the place of supply shall be the place of such installation and assembly. अब जैसे लिफ्ट का एग्जांपल मैं दे रहा था, लग गया, आपने रेंट पे चलाया, उसके बाद आप उसको निकाल सकते हो तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज असेंबलिंग की जहां बात है कि आप मल्टीपल चीजें लाओगे और वहां पे असेंबल करोगे, so the place of supply will be the location where it is being assembled or installed. So location of supplier can be any, but the place of supply will be the place where it is being installed or assembled. That will be the place of supply by virtue of clause D to subsection 1 of section 10. Moving further, clause E, it says where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, including a vessel, an aircraft, a train, or a motor vehicle. The place of supply shall be the location at which such goods are taken on board. Such goods are taken on board. मीनिंग देयर भाई, अगर आपकी लेट्स से ट्रेन की बात करते हैं, दिल्ली से आपकी ट्रेन चल रही है और वो बॉम्बे तक जानी है, बीच में मल्टीपल लोकेशंस मल्टीपल स्टेशंस आते हैं, तो एक गुड्स जो आप सप्लाई कर रहे हो उसकी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कैसे डिटरमाइन होगी? तो अगर कुछ गुड्स अगर बड़ौदा में आके चढ़े हैं या अहमदाबाद में आके चढ़े हैं या रतलाम में आके वो बोर्ड हुए हैं, तो अकॉर्डिंगली यू नीड टू डिटरमाइन what does the provision says. You can read it again. It says where the goods are supplied on board. So you are supplying those goods on board. Conveyance including vessel, aircraft, train or a motor vehicle. इनमें जब भी आप सप्लाई कर रहे हो, the place of supply shall be the location at which such goods are taken on board. So at the point when you are taking that on board, that will be the place of supply. For example, दिल्ली से राजधानी एक्सप्रेस चल रही है, वो बॉम्बे तक जाएगी, हालांकि वो उसमें सप्लाई जो करते हैं वो इंक्लूडेड रहता है टिकट में, दैट इज अ कंपोजिट सप्लाई. लेट अस प्रेज्यूम कि वो आइटम्स या किसी दूसरी ट्रेन में जहाँ पे भी आपकी आपका वो पेंट्री कार होता है, उस ट्रेन के अंदर सारे गुड्स लोड हुए दिल्ली में, आप कंज्यूम कर रहे हो गुजरात में आके. So what will be the place of supply for that purpose? It will be Delhi only, because that is the place where the goods were boarded. On the contrary, अगर कोई जैसे लंच है तो अलग अलग ड्यूरेशन पे लंच के और डिनर के टाइमिंग के हिसाब से वो स्टेशन पे ऑर्डर देते हैं और वो स्टेशन से बोर्ड होता है गरम गरम. सो लेट्स से कि वो ट्रेन आ रही थी, वो कहीं से भी आ रही थी, लेकिन वो बोर्ड गुजरात में हुए और उसके बाद वो जानी थी लेट्स से तमिलनाडु. सो व्हाट विल बी द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई? द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी द प्लेस फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज बोर्डेड और वेयर इट इज बोर्डेड. तो ये बोर्ड हुई गुजरात में और वो जो सप्लायर है, वो जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, वो दिल्ली का है. तो प्ले लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर विल बी दिल्ली, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी Gujarat, and therefore it will be an interstate supply. So that is something to be kept in mind. Where the place of supply of goods cannot be determined, the place of supply shall be determined in such manner as may be prescribed. So there can be rules. There are rules which prescribes the prescribes the procedure how to determine the place of supply in cases where the place of supply cannot be determined as per the provisions of subsection 1. Now friends, moving to section 11 quickly. Section 11 deals with where one of the parties is outside India. So it says place of supply of goods imported into or exported from India. Imported into or exported from India. Then the place of supply of goods, if it is imported into India, shall be the location of the importer. जहाँ पे वो import कर रहा है, जो importer है उसका location. And when it is exported out of India, it shall be the location outside India. तो अगर मैं यहाँ से US कुछ भेज रहा हूँ, तो place of supply will be US, location of supplier will be India, and therefore it will be an export. जब मैं कुछ import कर रहा हूँ, तो place of supply will be the location of the importer, and the location of supplier will be, let's say US से मैंने import किया, तो US, and the place of supply will be India, and the state or the location where the importer is located. So that is section 11. Now friends, moving to section 12. Now very humble request, अब जो हम ये sections करने वाले हैं next 12 or 13, I will be requiring your attentiveness, your presence, because unless you are attentive in these provisions, you will not be able to raise the queries, and I want multiple queries to be sent for place of supply provisions. क्योंकि जब ये place of supply आया था, to be very honest friends, जब ये place of supply आया था तो हमने काफी सारे दूसरी कंट्रीज के भी लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई प्रोविजंस पढ़े. इंडिया की प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई सबकी खिचड़ी है, लेकिन काफी हद तक अगर आपने प्लेस ऑफ प्रोविजन ऑफ सर्विसेज अगर सर्विस टैक्स का पढ़ा है और उसको प्रैक्टिस किया है, देन दिस डिटर्मिनेशन विल बिकम कंपैरेटिवली इजी. अदरवाइज जिसने नहीं पढ़ा है उसके लिए डिफिकल्ट है. सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई एंड द कंसेप्ट ऑफ प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आप ये सेक्शन को पूरी तरीके से याद कर लो. आई एम सेइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट ऑफ इट. वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट, उसके बाद आपको दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. फिर 99% cases में you will be able to determine the place of supply on your own. You will not be able to, or you will not be requiring to refer the provision of section 12 or 13. But still I would recommend, अभी हम वहां पे चले गए हैं तो let me share that. I will recommend one thing, that while practicing indirect taxes, maybe many of you will not agree to this, but this is what I have experienced. See, I am a very average person. जो ब्रिलियंट या इंटेलिजेंट लोग होते हैं मैं उनके साथ कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं है, बट आई एम अ वेरी एवरेज पर्सन. इसलिए जब एवरेज पर्सन होते हैं तो हमको मेहनत ज्यादा करनी पड़ती है इन कंपैरिजन टू द पर्सन हु इज इंटेलिजेंट और ऑल. एनीवेज, दैट इज नॉट द पॉइंट. पॉइंट इज कि व्हाट आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस्ड इज, even if you are expert, even if you have read the law thousands of times, even you are 100% confidence of what you are saying, but before answering to anyone, I would say, before giving your opinion or view to anyone, I would recommend, please refer the act once again. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आपने 1000 बार पढ़ा, एक बार और रेफर कर लीजिए, लेकिन रेफर किए बिना उसको जवाब मत दीजिए. दैट इज माई रिक्वेस्ट. सो आई एम स्पीकिंग कॉन्ट्ररी नाउ. पहले मैंने बोला कि आपको मेजोरिटी 99% चीजें तो ध्यान हो जाएंगी. अगर आपको 99 नहीं 100% भी ध्यान है, फिर भी आई वुड रिकमेंड कि कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं जिसके ऊपर पूरा जीएसटी लॉ डिपेंड करता है, पूरी लिवेबिलिटी डिपेंड करती है कि आई लगेगा या सी और एस लगेगा. सो फॉर डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ दैट, give your inputs after referring the provisions once. That is my request. That is my humble request. Yeah. Moving to section 12. It says place of supply of services where the location of supplier and recipient is in India. जहाँ पे location और आप सप्लायर का और रेसिपिएंट का दोनों ही इंडिया में हो, वहां पे प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कैसे डिटरमाइन करेंगे. सबसेक्शन 1. The provisions of this section shall apply to determine the place of supply in services where the location of the supplier of service and the location of the recipient of services is in India. Fair enough. Subsection 2. Now this is very important. This gives you the what I can say, the base rule, the thumb rule for determination of place of supply in majority of the cases. In majority of the cases, so you can remember in this fashion that the place of supply, of service where both the supplier and recipient are in India, or the location of supplier and the recipient is in India, the place of supply, unless or except in case of specified services, the place of supply of service except in case of specified services will be as per subsection 2 of section 12. ये आपको थंब रूल दे रहा है. क्या दे रहा है? Let us see. Clause A. It says, let me read it. The place of supply of services except the services specified in subsection 3 to 14. यानी 3 to 14 में जो specific services है, let's say immovable property, correct, आपका courier. So if there is a specific provision given in subsection 3 to 14, तो ही आपको वहां जाके place of supply देखना है. Otherwise it is going to be subsection 2. And what does it provide? It says made to a registered person shall be the location of such person. So if I am making a supply to a registered person, it will always be the location of that particular person. If I am making a supply to an unregistered person, and the location of recipient where the address on record exists, meaning thereby अगर मेरे पास address on record है तो his location will be the place of supply. Otherwise my location, that is the location of supplier, will be the place of supply. So अभी वापस एक बार समझते हैं. Don't be confused. I'm just trying to repeat it, and I will try to convince you and convey this provision to you. और मैं ऐसा चाहूंगा कि आपके दिमाग में वो सेट हो जाना चाहिए इसी तरीके से. But this is the most important section. 10, 11, 12, 13 ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन है. सो सेक्शन 12. सी गुड्स में तो क्या मूवमेंट आप देखते हो, तो इसलिए आपके लिए आइडेंटिफाई करना, डिटरमाइन करना इजी हो जाता है. सर्विसेज में इट इज इंटेंजिबल, यू कैन नॉट सी द मूवमेंट ऑफ सर्विस, एंड देयरफॉर the location and the place of supply and the determination of place of supply, location of recipient, location of service, the supplier, it becomes very crucial. So ये क्या बोल रहा है, थंब रूल क्या है place of supply of service डिटरमाइन करने का? थंब रूल क्या है? इट सेज क्या सर्विस, आपको क्वेश्चन ये लेना है कि क्या मैं जो सर्विस दे रहा हूं वो व्यक्ति रजिस्टर्ड है. अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड है तो ऑलवेज हिज लोकेशन विल बी द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. सो इन केस द रिसिपिएंट इज रजिस्टर्ड, okay, in case the recipient is registered, his location will be the place of supply. खत्म. दूसरा, जहाँ पे दूसरा आंसर है, जहाँ पे इसका मतलब कि वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है। तो वो जहाँ रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है वहां आपके पास दो ऑप्शंस है। पहला, क्या आपके पास उसका एड्रेस है? अगर है तो वो एड्रेस प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई, अगर नहीं है तो आपका लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई। अब आप समझो, मेरे पास कोई किसी दूसरी जगह से आता है और बोलता है अविनाश, मुझे एक छोटा सा ओपिनियन देना है। यू आर अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, फॉरगेट अबाउट कि मैं एडवोकेट की प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ या एडवोकेट हूँ। ही कम्स टू माय फर्म एंड ही सेज कि मुझे एक ओपिनियन लेना है, यू जस्ट साइन दिस ओपिनियन एंड गिव इट टू मी। नाउ व्हिच टैक्स इज टू बी लेविड टू दैट पर्सन? अब अगर मैं उस मिस्टर एक्स से पूछता हूँ कि आप कहाँ से आए हो और आप उसका पूरा एड्रेस ले लेता हूँ, वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है, वो एज एन इंडिविजुअल आ रहा है, तो मैं उसका पूरा एड्रेस ले लेता हूँ, तो फिर मुझे वो एड्रेस ही इनवॉइस में डालना है और मैं प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई उस एड्रेस के बेसिस पे बन जाएगा, यानी उसका लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई बन जाएगा। अगर वो एड्रेस मैं नहीं लेता हूँ, तो इन दैट केस अगर मैं एक रनिंग इनवॉइस उसको जनरेट कर देता हूँ, जहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ फलाना फलाना एंड आई प्रोवाइडेड दिस सर्विसेज एट सूरत, so in that case it will become the location of supplier, and my location, that means my state, will become the place of supply for that case. So that is the simple provision of subsection 2, but this is the thumb rule, this is the basic provision which needs to be clear in mind, that if a service is being provided to a registered person, in 99.99% cases he will be the, or his location will be the place of supply. Even जो specified services हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और पढ़ेंगे उसके अंदर भी ऐसा ही provision है। लेकिन अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है तो दो सिचुएशन, क्या आपके पास उसका एड्रेस है तो वो लोकेशन हो जाएगा, अगर एड्रेस नहीं है तो आपका जो लोकेशन है वो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई हो जाएगा। दिस इज सबसेक्शन 2 ऑफ सेक्शन 12। Moving to subsection 3, now it is specific and specified services which are dealt with in the law, ki how to determine the place of supply in these specific services. The place of supply of service A, directly in relation to immovable property, including services provided by architects, interior decorators, surveyors, engineers, and other related experts or real estate agents. Any service provided by way of grant of rights to use immovable property or carrying out or coordinating of construction works. So all services, rather let me put it in this fashion, all services which is in relation to the immovable property. Construction services related immovable property, तो कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विस से रिलेटेड जब मैं बोलता हूं तो बीओसी या कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट आने से पहले की बात हो रही है, उससे रिलेटेड जितनी भी सर्विसेज आप लेते हो, दैट एवरीथिंग विल फॉलो इन क्लॉज ए। क्लॉज बी, बाय वे ऑफ लॉजिंग, accommodation by an hotel, inn, guest house, home stay, club और कैंप साइट, बाई वॉट एवर नेम कॉल्ड, आप कुछ भी नाम दो ना उसको, आप उसको भाड़े पे दे रहे हो, खाली इतना है। देन एंड इंक्लूडिंग अ हाउस बोट और एनी अदर वेसल, देन इट विल फॉल इनटू दिस। यानी आप किसी से भी कोई अकोमोडेशन सर्विस ले रहे हो, किसी भी नाम से वो बोले, बट इट इज एन अकोमोडेशन सर्विस, देन यू विल बी कवर्ड इन क्लॉज बी ऑफ सेक्शन सबसेक्शन 3। सी, बाय वे ऑफ अकोमोडेशन इन एनी इमोबल प्रॉपर्टी फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एंड मैरिज। पहले क्या था, अकोमोडेशन जहाँ आप स्टे कर सकते हो, अब क्या है, जहाँ पे आप रिसेप्शन करो, मैरिज करो, आप कोई फंक्शंस करो, कोई पार्टीज करो, वो सारी चीजें कवर हो जाएंगी। सो any marriage or reception or matters related thereto, official, social, cultural, religious or business function, including services provided in relation to such function at such property. So including services provided in relation to such function at such property. So ये जो functions है, इससे related जो और services आप ले रहे हो वो भी इसी में cover हो जाएगी। Are you getting this? That also will be covered into this clause. So now let me give you a food for thought, कि अगर मैं कोई फंक्शन रख रहा हूं और उसके मैं कार्ड प्रिंट करा रहा हूं, and if that printing of card service is a service, then whether the determination of place of supply will be in this clause. Please think over this and raise a question. If you are not getting the answer, I will answer that in the query session. This is very important question to be answered. Any services ancillary to the services referred to in clause A, B and C. तो इससे कोई एंसिलरी सर्विसेज भी होंगी, जैसे मैंने भी आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया, सो वो सारी भी इसी क्लॉज में कवर हो जाएंगी। एंड प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई फॉर दीज सर्विसेज ए बी सी एंड डी विल बी द लोकेशन, आई एम रिपीटिंग, द लोकेशन एट विच immovable property or boat or vessel as the case may be is located or intended to be located. Why I am saying intended to be located? Because मैं हो सकता है किसी दिल्ली बेस्ड आर्किटेक्ट की सर्विस ले रहा हूँ, जबकि प्रॉपर्टी तो मेरी सूरत में बनने वाली है। सो बनने वाली है तो डिजाइन तो उसके पहले ही कराऊंगा ना, आर्किटेक्चर उससे पहले ही कराऊंगा। So the Imol property is going to be located at Surat, or it is intended to be located at Surat, and therefore the place of supply will be Surat. So the location of the Imol property will be the place of supply in all these cases which are covered above. Now, provided that if the location of the Imol property or boat or vessel is located or intended to be located outside India, अब अगर वो foreign में located है, then the place of supply shall be the location of the recipient. The location of the recipient. Now, recipient is defined in this law. Recipient term is defined in this law. Give me 1 minute. Let me read the definition of recipient. Because a person who makes the payment is recipient. तो अगर मेरा foreign में property locate हो रहा है, लेकिन payment करने वाला बंदा यहाँ पे है, then his location will be the place of supply, and you will be liable to pay tax accordingly. Now let me read the definition of recipient for the benefit of all of you, so that you all get the clarity on what the term recipient means. Yeah, it says the recipient of supply of goods or services or both means where a consideration is payable for the supply of goods or services or both, the person who is liable to pay consideration. So he is recipient जो liable to pay consideration है. तो हो सकता है कि प्रॉपर्टी वहां बन रही हो लेकिन मैं सूरत में बैठा हूं और मैं लायबल हूं पे करने के लिए, तो मैं रेसिपिएंट हो गया. So therefore my location will become the place of supply. So that is to be kept in mind. Moving for the explanation, where the immoral property or boat or vessel is located in more than one state or union territory, the supply of service shall be treated as made in each of the respective state or union territories in proportion to the value of services separately collected or determined in terms of the contract or agreement entered into in this regard, or in absence of such contract or agreement on such other basis as may be prescribed. So wherein इमोरल प्रॉपर्टी और बोट या जो वेसल है वो मल्टीपल स्टेट्स या मल्टीपल यूनियन टेरिटरीज और स्टेट्स में लोकेटेड है, देन इन दैट केस आप इंडिविजुअली जाओगे और इंडिविजुअली यू विल हैव टू डिटरमाइन. देन तो इट इज क्लियरली बीइंग सेड दैट सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विस शैल बी मेड in each of the respective states or union territory in proportion of the value and services which is separately collected or determined in terms of the contract. तो उसी हिसाब से जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना होगा उसी हिसाब से यू विल हैव टू डिटरमाइन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या एग्रीमेंट जिस तरीके से बना हुआ हो. और अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या एग्रीमेंट नहीं है तो फिर जो प्रेस्क्राइब्ड बेसिस है अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल हैव टू डिटरमाइन. Subsection 4, friends, the place of supply of restaurant and the catering services. So this is another specified service clause. जो सबसेक्शन 3 था वहां पे वो इमोरल प्रॉपर्टी की बात कर रहा है, और यहाँ पे रेस्टोरेंट एंड कैटरिंग सर्विसेज, पर्सनल ग्रूमिंग, फिटनेस, ब्यूटी ट्रीटमेंट, हेल्थ सर्विस including the cosmetic and plastic surgery shall be location where the services are actually performed. So these are the services which are performance based services, I would say. These are the services which are performance based services, and whenever the service performance based is performed, then the location where the service is performed will become the place of supply. You please appreciate, अगर कोई ऐसा फिटनेस ट्रेनर है जिसको मैं दिल्ली से बुलाता हूँ, या मेरा कॉस्मेटिक सर्जन है, या मेरा कोई पर्सनल ग्रूमिंग का कोई कंसल्टेंट है जिसको मैं दिल्ली से बुलाता हूँ गुजरात में, और यहाँ पे मैं अपनी कॉस्मेटिक्स कराता हूँ या मैं अपनी फिटनेस के ऊपर कराता हूँ या ब्यूटी ट्रीटमेंट कराता हूँ, तो इन दैट फैशन द लोकेशन वेयर द सर्विसेज आर परफॉर्म्ड विल बिकम द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई एंड नॉट द लोकेशन ऑफ द सप्लायर, नीदर द लोकेशन ऑफ द रिसिपिएंट. इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, क्योंकि आजकल डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग्स होती हैं. सो इफ यू आर बेस्ड एट गुजरात, द ब्यूटिशियन इज बेस्ड एट दिल्ली, और आपकी शादी हो रही है गोवा में, so where the services are being performed by the person who is located at Delhi, it is being performed at Goa, and therefore the place of supply in that case will become Goa. So that is something where the services are actually performed, that will be the place of supply. So I think now it might be clear to all of you. और ये मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा फिर कि एक बार में आपको नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि अभी आप सुनेंगे और आधा एक घंटे के बाद सारा वाइप ऑफ हो जाएगा. चलो रिक्वेस्ट की सेशन के बाद आप आधा घंटा डिवोट करें इन सेक्शंस को वापस से देख के, यू ट्राई टू डिवोट योर टाइम और उसके एक नोट्स बना लें, सो दैट दोज ब्रीफ नोट्स कैन बी रेफर्ड एट एनी पॉइंट इन टाइम wherein in a simple situation you have to determine the place of supply. अगर कोई complicated है तो obviously you will have to refer the act. Subsection 5, the place of supply of services in relation to training and performance appraisal to training and performance appraisal to a registered person shall be location of that person. So we have already discussed this. जब subsection 2 हमने देखा, जब thumb rule देखा, basic provision देखा, तो it was very clear कि जब भी आप registered person को कोई service दोगे तो in normal circumstance it is going to be the location of that registered person. So यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है, जहाँ training and performance appraisal का आप कोई देते हो, services which is in relation to training and the performance appraisal, then if you are providing those services to a registered person, the location of the registered person will be the place of supply. And if it is a person who is not a registered person, that means person other than registered person, then it shall be the location where the services are actually performed. So again, it will not be the location of supplier or the location where the supplier is registered. It is the location where the services are performed. Now ट्रेनिंग सेंटर है या ट्रेनिंग सर्विसेज है या परफॉर्मेंस ट्रेनिंग एंड परफॉर्मेंस की अप्रेजल सर्विसेज है. नाउ ट्रेनिंग हो सकता है कि आपकी जो कंपनी है वो रजिस्टर्ड है दिल्ली में और आप उसको बॉम्बे में बुला के ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, बिकॉज जो ट्रेनिंग देने वाली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो बॉम्बे है, तो आपके बंदे दिल्ली से बॉम्बे आते हैं और वो सर्विसेज लेते हैं और उसके बाद वो चले जाते हैं. तो इनवॉइस जो है वो, चूंकि आप रजिस्टर्ड हैं, यू आर रेसिपिएंट बिकॉज यू आर लायबल टू मेक पेमेंट एज अ कंपनी, therefore the place of supply will be the location where you are registered. But let us take an example wherein I am not registered, then what will happen? So in that case, let's say मैं हूं सूरत का, मुझे वो सर्विसेज देनी है ट्रेनिंग की. आपने कहा कि आपकी ट्रेनिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी है, यू डू वन थिंग, आप एक 10 सेशंस का एक बैच बना लीजिए, एक सीरीज बना लीजिए, कम टू बॉम्बे, my team also will come to Bombay from Delhi, and then you perform the services to or training services for them. What will happen? I am the supplier, मैं बॉम्बे जा रहा हूँ, you are the recipient but you are not registered. So what does it say? Where it is actually performed. So training is being performed at Bombay. So for me as a supplier, because I need to determine the place of supply na, for raising an invoice, for me the place of supply will be Bombay and it will not be Delhi, and therefore IGST invoice has to be raised. Similarly, let us take another example कि मैं बॉम्बे में ही हूँ और बॉम्बे में ही ट्रेनिंग देता हूँ, बट आप दिल्ली में और आप रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो, then your team will come to Bombay and the actual performance or actual training is being performed at Bombay, and therefore the place of supply will be Bombay. This is subsection 5. Moving to subsection 6, तो ये सर परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड सर्विसेज ही हैं और इसीलिए इनकी कवरेज जो है उस तरीके से है कि जहाँ पे आप परफॉर्म करते हो उसी जगह पे आपकी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई हो जाएगी. Subsection 6, the place of supply of services, provided by way of admission to a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment event or amusement park or any other person, place, and services ancillary thereto shall be placed where the event is actually held or where the park or such other place is located. Now what does it say? It says उन सर्विसेज में जहां पे आप एडमिशन सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, सी प्लीज बेयर इन माइंड, दिस इज नॉट एन इवेंट सर्विस, दिस इज एन एडमिशन टू एन इवेंट सर्विस. दोनों में डिफरेंस है. जो हमने सबसेक्शन 5 में पढ़ा था दैट वाज ट्रेनिंग एंड परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल सर्विसेज, बट यहाँ पे इट इज नॉट अ कल्चरल सर्विस, कल्चरल इवेंट, इट इज अ एडमिशन टू कल्चरल इवेंट. टिकट्स बेचने की सर्विस हो सकती है, उससे एंसिलरी प्रिंटिंग की सर्विसेज हो सकती है, मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज हो सकती है, देयर कैन बी एन नंबर ऑफ सर्विसेज. सो in this case the place of supply shall be where the event is actually held or where the park or such other place is located. So सेल कहीं भी हो उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, जहां पे वो इवेंट होने वाला है वो इवेंट प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई होगा. ओके. सबसेक्शन 7, subsection 7 says the place of supply of service provided by way of a organization of cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, or entertainment event, including supply of services in relation to a conference, fair, exhibition, celebration, or similar events. Meaning thereby, अगर मैं इसको क्रक्स बोलूं तो events, services provided by way of an organization of an event. So you are not doing event for your own self. You are organizing an event. You are organizing an event which can be cultural, artistic, sporting, or any other event falling into this. B, services which are ancillary to organization of any of the events or services referred to in clause A, or assigning of sponsorship to such events. So that is also covered here. To a registered person shall be location of such person. If it is provided to a registered person, if you are organizer and you are providing the organization services of an event to a registered person, then the location of the registered person, irrespective of the place where the event is being organized, irrespective of the place where the event is being organized, the location of the registered person will become the place of supply. But in case where it is an unregistered person or a person to whom the services are provided for this organization of an event and he is an unregistered person, then in that case क्या होगा? आज मेरी इच्छा हो रही है, मैं कोई कॉन्फ्रेंस करना चाहता हूँ, कोई फेयर या एग्जीबिशन करना चाहता हूँ, मैं रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हूँ, तो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई क्या होगा? देन द इवेंट वेयर द लोकेशन वेयर द इवेंट इज एक्चुअली हेल्ड, or if the event is held outside India, the place of supply shall be the location of the recipient, meaning thereby the person who is providing the payments or who is making the payments. So I believe now it's clear कि अगर वो registered person को आप ये organization of event की services दे रहे हो तो उसका लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई, अगर अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को दे रहे हो तो उस केस में जहां पे इवेंट हो रहा है वो लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई हो जाएगा. फिर अगेन वही एक्सप्लेनेशन में कि एक से ज्यादा जगह पे अगर ये होता है तो क्या होगा, तो प्रोपोर्शनलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. मूविंग टू सबसेक्शन 8 फ्रेंड्स. Subsection 8 provides the place of supply of services by way of transportation of goods, including by mail or courier too. Now, transportation of goods, it is not transportation of passengers, it is transportation of goods. When a supply of service which is pertaining to transportation of goods by mail or courier, तो a registered person को अगर provide किया तो location of such person, unregistered को provide किया then the location at which such goods are handed over for their transportation. So where you are handing over for the purpose of transportation, that will become the place of supply. Provided that this is a new clause which has been inserted, which a new proviso with effect from 1st February 2019 by way of the Central Goods and Services Tax Amendment or Integrated Goods and Services Tax Amendment Act, and it says provided that where the transportation of goods is to a place outside India, the place of supply shall be the place of destination of such goods. If it is like courier, अगर आपने कहीं बाहर भेजा या मेल आपने बाहर भेजा तो उस केस में जो डेस्टिनेशन होगी उन गुड्स की, that will become the place of supply. Now moving to subsection 9, it says the place of supply of passenger transportation service. Now comes the passenger transportation company. पहले जो था वो गुड्स का था. Passenger transportation company services if provided to a registered person, it shall be the location of such person. तो अभी तक आप ये नोट कर रहे होगे, जितनी बार भी हमने ये देखा है कि रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को कोई सप्लाई हो रही है वहां पे हमेशा उसी का लोकेशन प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई होगा. तो यही सबसेक्शन 2 में हमने देखा जो जनरल क्लॉज है, जो थंब रूल है वो भी यही है कि रजिस्टर को दोगे तो उसका प्लेस, रजिस्टर को नहीं दोगे तो लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर, या फिर ये स्पेसिफिक सर्विसेज में जो बता रहा है. तो मेजॉरिटी में आप ये देखोगे जहां पे इवेंट हो रहा है या जहां पे आपने हैंड ओवर किया ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए, वो सारे लोकेशंस जो है आपकी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई हो जाएगी. सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में भी रजिस्टर के लिए वही, और अनरजिस्टर्ड के लिए शैल बी द प्लेस वेयर द पैसेंजर एम्बार्क्स on the conveyance for a continuous journey. So where he is embarking for the journey, where he is embarking for the journey, and continuous journey definition we have read and understood yesterday, जहाँ पे ब्रेक जर्नी भी हो सकती है और कंटिन्यूसली, लेकिन आप टिकट ले रहे हो एक साथ, उसके बाद आप ब्रेक जर्नी कर रहे हो, लेकिन टिकट्स आपके पास एक लॉट में है, भले आपने खुद ने खरीदा या फिर किसी एजेंट के थ्रू आपने करवाया, तो उस केस में it will be continuous journey, and उस केस में the location of or the place of supply will be the location from where the passenger is embarking for the journey. Embarking for the journey मतलब जहाँ से वो start कर रहा है. Provided that where the right to passage is given for future use and the point of embarkation is not known at the time of issue of right to passage, the place of supply of such service shall be determined in accordance with the provisions of subsection 2, meaning thereby location of supplier. क्योंकि registered नहीं है तो location of supplier, registered है then the location where the he is registered. Subsection 10, it says the place of supply of service on board a conveyance, including a vessel or aircraft, train or motor vehicle, shall be the location of the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. So first schedule, that will be the place of supply. यानी आप बीच में से बैठ रहे हो लेकिन फिर भी द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी जहां पे फर्स्ट शेड्यूल पॉइंट ऑफ डिपार्चर है. दिल्ली से ट्रेन आ रही है, बॉम्बे जा रही है, करेक्ट. आप बैठ रहे हैं सूरत में बॉम्बे जाने के लिए, तो यहाँ पे लोकेशन जो रहेगा फर्स्ट शेड्यूल पॉइंट का यानी दिल्ली, दैट विल बी दी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. सबसेक्शन 11, the place of supply of telecommunication services including the data transfer, broadcasting, cable and direct to home television services to any person shall. So this is particularly for data transfers, broadcasting services, cable services, D2H services and the telecommunication services. This particular provision, subsection 11 of the IGST Act, it says in case the services by way of fixed telephone line, leased circuits, internet leased circuits, cable or disk antenna, then it will be the location from the telecommunication line, leased circuit or cable collection or dish antenna is installed for the receipt of services. जहां पे आपने इसको इंस्टॉल किया होगा, that will become the place of supply. Second situation, in case of mobile connection for telecommunication and internet services provided on postpaid basis, जो postpaid पे mobile connection हो या internet services हो, be the location of billing address of the recipient of services on the record of the supplier of services. So obviously there will be a record, तो उस record में जो भी billing address होगा, that will become the place of supply. In case where the mobile connection for telecommunication, internet service and direct to home television services are provided on prepayment, prepaid के लिए, through a voucher or other means, तो उस situation में there are two situations which are laid down, जहाँ पे prepaid connection है telecommunication का यानी मोबाइल का, इंटरनेट का या डायरेक्ट टू होम DTH का, वहां पे क्या होगा. तो अगर वो सर्विसेज if it is being provided through the selling agent or a reseller or a distributor of subscriber identity module, module card or recharge voucher, then the address of the selling agent or the reseller or the distributor as per the record of the supplier at the time of supply. So जो supplier के record में इन agents का, selling agents का, distributors का, resellers का जो address होगा, that will become the place of supply for the supplier. And if it is by any person other than above, that is selling agent or reseller or distributor, then in that case the location where the prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold. तो जहाँ पे prepayment मिला वो location या फिर जहाँ पे वो vouchers को sell किया गया वो location will be the place of supply. Clause D, it says in other cases be the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier of services, and where such address is not available, the place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of services. So again, अगर if you refer subsection 2, वहां पे भी ऐसा ही था, जहाँ पे आपके पास एड्रेस नहीं है, जहाँ पे एड्रेस नहीं है वहां पे लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर विल बिकम द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. सो दैट विल बी एप्लीकेबल in case of this also, in this section also, provided that where the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier of services is not available, the place of supply shall be the location of supplier of services. Obviously जहाँ पे उसका एड्रेस अवेलेबल नहीं है वहाँ पे लोकेशन of the supplier will become the place of supply. Provided further that if such prepaid service is availed or the recharge is made through internet banking, so अगर वो prepaid services आप internet banking से ले लेते हैं, उसका वो अब recharge करा लेते हैं, और any other electronic mode of payment जो आजकल होता है, the location of the recipient of service on the record of the supplier of service shall be the place of supply. Let me take an example. Jio का है, आज ही मेरे को रिचार्ज कराना पड़ा of that internet facility, so in that case my location will become the place of supply. Explanation again, it is where it is installed for more than one, so I am not reading it because it is similar to what we have read earlier. Subsection 12, the place of supply of banking and other financial services. The banking and other financial services including the stock broking services to any person shall be the location of the recipient of services on the records of the supplier. So location of recipient will be the place of supply for banking or other financial services, including the stock broking, provided that if the location of the recipient or the services is not on the records of the supplier, then the place of supply shall be the location of the supplier. तो अगर बैंकिंग या फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में भी आपके पास अगर एड्रेस नहीं है उसका, जो देर आर वेरी रेयर चांसेस ऑफ इट, बट स्टिल दे हैव पुट इन दिस प्रोविजन कि अगर वो नहीं है देन इट विल बी द लोकेशन ऑफ द सप्लायर. And subsection 13 now, it says the place of supply of insurance services shall be to a registered person, then the location of the registered person. If it is provided to an unregistered person, then the location of recipient of services on the records of the supplier of services. Insurance services में record तो रहेगा ही रहेगा. So the location of the person who is receiving the services, उसका जो record में जो address है, that will become the place of supply. Subsection 14, it says the place of supply of advertisement services of the central government, state government, statutory body, or a local authority, which is meant for the state or union territories identified in a contract or agreement, shall be taken as being in such of the state of in each of such states or union territories, and the value of such supplies specific to each state or union territory shall be in proportion to the amount attributable to the services provided by way of dissemination in the respective state or union territories, as may be determined in terms of contract of agreement entered into in this regard, in the absence of such contract or general agreement on such other basis as may be prescribed. So clearly it is again providing that कोई भी आप advertisement services हैं जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी या लोकल अथॉरिटी का है, एंड विच इज मेंट फॉर द स्टेट्स और यूनियन टेरिटरीज जिन्होंने कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या अग्रीमेंट में आइडेंटिफाई किया है, then it shall be taken as being in each of such states. So place of supply will be each of such state or union territory where these services are provided, and the value of supply will be in proportion to the total value. So this is ये आपका infographic presentation से, तो I've not preferred this. This is a part of book, so just moving ahead to section 13 of the CGST Act. So friends, whatever we have discussed in section 12 is very relevant, and please mark my words that it is not that easy to determine the place of supply of service in few cases, and therefore you always will have to refer these particular sections. And please bear in mind that without referring a particular provision, because there are specific provisions also, specific services also, so whether something is falling within the specific provision or not, you need to consider that first and then determine the place of supply. Now moving to section 13, which provides for the again determination of the place of supply of service, but where one of the parties, either supplier or the recipient, is outside India. तो पहले क्या था जो सेक्शन 12 में था, जहाँ पे दोनों लोग इंडिया में थे, जैसे सेक्शन 10 गुड्स के लिए था, सेक्शन 11 था गुड्स के लिए जहाँ पे दोनों में से कोई एक बाहर था, तो इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट. इसी तरीके से सेक्शन 13 है जहाँ पे दोनों में से कोई एक व्यक्ति बाहर होगा, चाहे वो सप्लायर हो सकता है या वो रिसिपिएंट हो सकता है. So friends, again this is an important section. Although the principles are same which we have read in section 12, but there are few changes that we need to note and we need to understand. So let me go through these provisions also for all of you, and let us learn this together. Subsection 1, the provisions of this section shall apply to determination of place of supply where the location of supplier or the services or the location of recipient is outside India. So any of them is outside India. Subsection 2, again the general clause, the place of supply of services except the services in 3 to 13, वहाँ पे भी था 3 to 14, shall be the location of the recipient of services, provided that where the location of the recipient of services is not available in the ordinary course of business, the place of supply shall be the location of supplier of services. So in that case, it will become the place of supply will become the location of supplier of services where the address or the location of recipient of services is not known or it is not available. Subsection 3, the place of supply of the following services shall be the location where the services are actually performed. तो यहाँ पे actual performance, वहाँ पे subsection 3 अगर आपको याद हो तो इमोल प्रॉपर्टी था, यहाँ पे जहाँ पे actually performance यानी subsection 4 उसका आ गया, ब्यूटिशियन सर्विसेज और वो सब सर्विसेज आपने पढ़ी थी। यहाँ पे जहाँ पे एक्चुअल परफॉर्मेंस है, लेट्स से आपको गाड़ी का रिपेयर में भेजना है, कोई मशीनरी की रिपेयर में आपको भेजना है, तो एक्चुअल परफॉर्मेंस जहाँ होगा, मैंने यूएस से कोई मशीन खरीदी, इटली से कोई मशीन खरीदी, अब तो वो मशीन मुझे वहीं रिपेयर करने के लिए अगर भेजनी है, तो व्हाट विल हैपन, बिकॉज द परफॉर्मेंस इज बीइंग परफॉर्म देयर और द रिपेयर इज बीइंग परफॉर्म देयर। इसी तरीके से हो सकता है वहां नहीं भेजनी हो, इंडिया में वो आके मेरे को सर्विस प्रोवाइड करे और रिपेयर प्रोवाइड करे। तो हाउ टू डिटरमाइन, तो क्लॉज ए सेज services supplied in respect of goods which are required to be made physically available, जैसे मैंने बताया रिपेयर का, by the recipient of services to the supplier of service or to a person acting on behalf of the supplier of services in order to provide the services. So जो recipient को सर्विस प्रोवाइड करनी है, जो फिजिकली उसको अवेलेबल करना है सप्लायर को, या फिर किसी उसके व्यक्ति को जो ये सर्विसेज आपको देगा। So provided that when such services are provided from a remote location by way of electronic means, the place of supply shall be the location where the goods are situated at the time of supply of services. अब आपका लेट्स से कोई सॉफ्टवेयर रिपेयर करना है और कुछ ऐसा है जहाँ पे यूएस में बैठा बंदा यहाँ पे सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर रहा है रिमोट तरीके से, इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली तरीके से, तो इन दैट केस द लोकेशन वेयर द गुड्स आर सिचुएटेड और वेयर द परफॉर्मेंस इज डन will be the place of supply. तो यहाँ आप यही मान के चले परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड सर्विस है, तो लोकेशन ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस will be in majority of the cases will be the place of supply. Provided further that nothing contained in this clause shall apply in case of services. Nothing contained in this clause shall apply in case of services supplied in respect of goods which are temporarily imported into India for repairs or for any other treatment or process and are exported after such repairs or treatment or process without being put to any use in India other than that which is required for such repair or treatment or process. उसका कोई यूज नहीं किया गया, कोई आइटम लाई गई, उसका यहाँ पे रिपेयर किया गया, रिपेयर करने के बाद तुरंत उसको एक्सपोर्ट कर दिया गया, उसको किसी भी तरीके से यूज में इंडिया में नहीं लिया गया। सो whatever is written in this clause will not be applicable for the purpose of determination of the place of supply. Clause B, services supplied to an individual represented either as the recipient of services or a person acting on behalf of recipient which require the physical presence of the recipient or person acting on his behalf with the supplier for the supply of services. So in this case जहाँ पे भी किसी इंडिविजुअल को कोई सर्विस प्रोवाइड की जा रही है जो या तो रिसिपिएंट ऑफ सर्विसेज हो खुद या फिर उसके किसी व्यक्ति के द्वारा हो जो उसके बिहाफ पे एक्ट कर रहा हो, तो इन दिस केस जो फिजिकल प्रेजेंस चाहते हो अगर उस रिसिपिएंट की या उस व्यक्ति की जो उसके बिहाफ पे काम कर रहा है, सो his location will be the place of supply. So services where it is supplied to the individual and whether he is on his own or by some other respective person. So that will be the case of subsection 3 wherein the location shall be the location where the services are actually performed. तो ऐसे कोई भी सिचुएशन में जहाँ पे इंडिविजुअल है और आपको उसको रेसिपिएंट को या उसके किसी उसके बिहाफ पे जो व्यक्ति काम कर रहा है उसमें करना है, तो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई उसको जहाँ सर्विसेज दी गई वो हो जाएगा। सबसेक्शन 4, the place of supply of services supplied directly in relation to an immovable property, okay, including services supplied in this regards by expert and the estate agents, supply of accommodation by a hotel, inn, guest house, club or campsite by whatever name called, grants of right to use immovable property, services for carrying out or coordination of construction work, including that of architects or interior decorators, shall be the place where the immovable property is located or intended to be located. So again, चाहे वो इंडिया में हो बाहर हो जहाँ पे भी वो लोकेटेड है, that will be the place of supply. This we have already read in section 12 also. Similar provision is this. The place of supply of services supplied by way of admission to, वहाँ पे भी हमने देखा था, वहाँ पे क्या था एडमिशन का और यहाँ पे क्या है, let us see whether it is same or not. Admission to organization of cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational or entertainment event or celebration, conference, fair, exhibition or similar events, and of services ancillary to such admission or organization shall be the place where the event is actually held. So it shall be the place where the event is basically held. Where any services referred to in subsection 3, जहाँ पे actual सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर रही है उसकी परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड सर्विस है, सबसेक्शन 4 जहाँ इमोल प्रॉपर्टी की बात हुई, और सबसेक्शन 5 जहाँ पे जो अभी हमने देखा जहाँ पे इवेंट्स की बात हुई, is supplied at more than one location including a location in the taxable territory, the place of supply shall be the taxable territory. जहाँ पे उसका बाहर आउटसाइड टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी भी वो सर्विसेज दे रहा है और विद इन टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी भी दे रहा है, तो इस केस में इट विल बी ट्रीटेड दैट द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी in the taxable territory or the location of the taxable territory. Subsection 7, where the services referred to in subsection 3 or 4 or 5 are supplied in more than one state or union territory, the place of supply of such services shall be taken as being in each of the respective state or union territories, and the value of such supplies specific to such a state or union territory shall be in proportion to the value of services separately collected or determined in terms of the contract or agreement even entered into this behalf, or in the absence of such contract or agreement on such other basis as may be prescribed. So अगर multiple locations यानी states, multiple state, more than one state या union territory में अगर services हैं तो हर state में it will be distributed, place of supply will be जहाँ जहाँ आपने services provide की, और value of supply will be as per the proportionate calculations of this. Subsection 8, the place of supply of the following services shall be the location of the supplier of services, namely. So it will be location of the supplier of services. Clear लिख दिया है, इसमें recipient का कुछ देखना ही नहीं है. Namely, so this is what is challenged. Clause B इसका challenge हो चुका है. Intermediary services. We have read the definition of intermediary services. Let us go one by one. A, services supplied by a banking company or a financial institution or a non-banking financial company to account holders. अभी account holders अगर US में है तो it will not be treated as supply to US. It will be the place of supply, or the location of the US person will not be the place of supply. It will be the location of the supplier will be the place of supply. So this is specifically provided. इसका मतलब अगर मैं अगर यूएस में रहता हूँ और बैंकिंग मेरा बॉम्बे में है तो भले ही मेरा एड्रेस उसमें दिया हुआ है, बट स्टिल दिस विल बी डीम्ड टू बी सप्लाइड in India, or the location of the banker will become the place of supply for me, and therefore उस पर टैक्स लगेगा. इंटरमीडिएरी सर्विसेज बहुत डिस्प्यूटेड है. इंटरमीडिएरी का मतलब वो हुआ जहाँ पे वो दो लोगों को खाली फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए मिला देता है और उससे उनको कोई कमीशन रेज होता है. ही इज नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा, but actually he is providing services to of exports, but then also it is presumed कि location of the supplier, that means intermediary services जो provide कर रहा है उसका location will become the place of supply, and therefore CGST और SGST लगेगा उसके ऊपर, या HGST लगेगा. Because if it is not an export, then ये जरूरी नहीं है कि उस पर integrated tax ही लगे या वो interstate ही माना जाए. We'll have to evaluate कि वो क्या लगेगा उस पर. C और S लगेगा in most of the cases. Services consisting of hiring of means of transport, including yachts but excluding aircrafts and vessels, up to the period of 1 month. So in this case also, अगर आप ऐसी कोई services लेते हैं transportation की, transport vehicle की, then that also the place of supply will be the location of the supplier. There is an explanation which says accounts means an account bearing interest to the depositor and includes a non-resident external account and non-resident ordinary account. Banker के लिए ये banking company shall have the same meaning as assigned to it under clause A of section 45A of the RBI Act 1934. Financial institution shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in clause C of section 45 I of the RBI Act 1934. Non-banking financial company means a financial institution which is a company, a non-banking institution which is a company and which has its principal place of receiving, the principal business of receiving of deposits under any scheme or arrangement or in any other manner, or lending in any manner, or such other non-banking institution or class of such institutions as the RBI may, with the previous approval of the central government and by the notification in the official gazette, specify. So this is merely what they are trying to explain the expressions. Subsection 9, the place of supply of services of transportation of goods other than by way of mail or courier shall be the place of destination of such goods. So destination अगर आप यहाँ से बाहर भेज रहे हैं तो वो हो जाएगा. तो सेम इसमें भी मेल और कुरियर में एक एक्सेप्शन दिया था, जहाँ आउटसाइड इंडिया जाएगा वहाँ पे डेस्टिनेशन माना जाएगा. यू माइट बी रिमेम्बरिंग दैट इन सेक्शन 12. इन दिस केस दे हैव क्लियरली सेड कि वो destination of goods will be the place of supply. Subsection 10, the place of supply in respect of passenger transportation services shall be the place where the passenger embarks on the conveyance for a continuous journey. The same provision was there in section 12 also. Subsection 11, the place of supply of services provided on board a conveyance during the course of a passenger transport operation, including services intended to be wholly or substantially consumed while on board, shall be the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. यहाँ से यूएस कोई फ्लाइट जा रही है, उसके अंदर अगर आपको कुछ भी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं, कुछ भी जो बोर्ड पे प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं, तो वो सारी जिस वक्त वो ये अज्यूम किया जाएगा कि जहाँ से वो स्टार्ट हुआ है, जो शेड्यूल पॉइंट ऑफ डिपार्चर था, दैट विल बी दी प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई फॉर these services. Subsection 12, the place of supply on online information and database access or retrieval services shall be the location of the recipient of the services. The location where the recipient is located, that will become the place of supply. Explanation for the purpose of this subsection: person receiving such services shall be deemed to be located in the taxable territory if any of the following non-contradictory conditions are satisfied. So it will be deemed that he is located in the taxable territory. The location of address presented by the recipient of service through internet is in taxable territory. मैंने सूरत का हूँ, मैं यूएस का कोई साइट देख रहा हूँ, ऑनलाइन डेटाबेस और एक्सेस रिट्रीवल साइट में देख रहा हूँ, वो मैंने एड्रेस अपने सूरत का दिया, तो लोकेशन ऑफ दैट एड्रेस. The credit card, the debit card, or the store value card, or the charge card, or smart card, or any other card by which recipient of services settles payment has been issued in the taxable territory. अगर मेरा इंडिया का कार्ड है जिससे मैं पेमेंट कर रहा हूँ, तो वो billing address of the recipient of services is in taxable territory. Again, the internet protocol address, जो IP address बोलते हैं, internet protocol address of the device used by the recipient of services is in taxable territory. Again, IP address अगर इंडिया का है तो वो taxable territory का है, तो वो हो जाएगा. The country code of the subscriber identity module card used by the recipient of services is of taxable territory, and the location of the fixed landline through which the services is received by the recipient is in taxable territory. So in all these cases, it will be said that the person who is receiving such services shall be deemed to be in the taxable territories if he is falling into these situations. And last subsection is, in order to prevent double taxation or non-taxation of the supply of a service, or for a uniform application of rules, the central government, the government shall have the power to notify any description of services or circumstances in which the place of supply shall be place of effective use and enjoyment of a service. So this is an exception which is given, that government can come out with a notification wherein they can say that for these description of services and in these circumstances, the place of supply will be the place where the effective use or the enjoyment of services has happened, and that will become the place of supply. So friends, this was section 13, one of the most important sections we have read, section 12 and 13 of the IGST Act for determination of place of supply of services. Moving to section 14, this is a special provision, very special provision for the payment of tax by the supplier of online information and database access or retrieval services. Simple है, कोई भी लेट्स से अमेजॉन है, अगर वो यूएस बेस्ड कंपनी है या और कंपनी का कोई भी दूसरा साइट है, उनका डेटाबेस एक्सेस और रिट्रीवल सिस्टम या सर्विसेज आप यूज करते हो, आप इंडिया में लोकेटेड हो, तो उसकी लायबिलिटी कैसे आएगी इंडिया में टैक्स की? दैट इज व्हाट इज, बिकॉज ही इज द सप्लायर ऑफ सर्विस, दैट इज व्हाट इज प्रोवाइडेड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन. Subsection 1, on supply of online information and database access or retrieval services by any person located in a non-taxable territory, meaning thereby जहाँ पे परव्यू नहीं आता है इंडिया के बाहर, वहाँ वो located है, and received by a non-taxable, so it is non-taxable territory and received by a non-taxable online recipient. तो मैं हो सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैं इंडिविजुअली रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हूँ, तो आई एम अ individual who is not registered and I am an online recipient. The supplier of services located in the non-taxable territory shall be the person liable to pay integrated tax on such supply of service. So therefore, the supplier of that particular service will be liable to pay IGST on such supply of services, provided that in case of supply of online information and database access or retrieval services by any person located in the non-taxable territory and received by a non-taxable online recipient, an intermediary located in the non-taxable territory who arranges or facilitates the supply of such services shall be deemed to be the recipient of such services from the supplier of services in non-taxable territory and supplying such services to the non-taxable online recipient except when such intermediary satisfies the following conditions, namely. So an exception is given wherein अगर कोई इंटरमीडियरी बीच में आ जाता है और वो सर्विसेज लेता है और उसके थ्रू अगर आप लेते हैं और वो इंटरमीडियरी भी बाहर है, आउट ऑफ इंडिया है, तो ये कंडीशंस दिए हुए। तो यू विल हैव टू रिमेंबर ओनली वन थिंग, जब भी ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन या डेटाबेस एक्सेस रिट्रीवल सिस्टम आप देखते हैं, यूज करते हैं, तो आप रजिस्टर्ड नहीं होंगे, आप इंडिया में हैं, टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी में आप हैं, और जो व्यक्ति सप्लाई कर रहा है वो नॉन टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी में है। तो इन दिस केस the person who is based in non taxable territory and who is supplying those services will be liable to make the payment of tax. एक खाली ये प्रोवाइजो दिया गया है कि जहाँ पे सप्लाई ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन या डेटा एक्सेस और रिट्रीवल सर्विसेज की किसी भी ऐसे व्यक्ति के द्वारा है जो नॉन टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी में है और रिसीव किया गया है नॉन टैक्सेबल ऑनलाइन रिसिपिएंट के द्वारा, और कोई इंटरमीडियरी है जो लोकेटेड है नॉन टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी में, जो अरेंज करता है या फैसिलिटेट करता है ये सर्विसेज की सप्लाई को, then it shall be deemed to be the recipient. Intermediary shall be deemed to be the recipient of such services from the supplier of services in non-taxable territory and supplying such services to the non-taxable online recipient except when such intermediary satisfy the following conditions. So अगर ये चारों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई कर देता है तो अलग बात हो जाती है। A, the invoice or customer's bill or receipt issued or made available by such intermediary taking part in the supply clearly identifies the service in question or its supplier in non-taxable territory. तब दूसरा, the intermediary involved in the supply do not authorize the charge of the customer to the customer or take part in its charge, which is that the intermediary neither collects nor process payment in any manner nor is responsible for the payment between the non taxable online recipient and the supplier of services, तब वो बाहर हो जाएगा। Third, the intermediary involved in the supply does not authorize delivery, तब वो बाहर हो जाएगा। And fourth, the general terms and conditions of the supply are not set by the intermediary involved in the supply but by the supplier of services, तो general terms and conditions भी उसके द्वारा नहीं हो जाएगा, तब ये deeming provision से वो बाहर हो जाएगा। So again, if you want to understand, then what does it provide? It says shall be an intermediary located in the non-taxable territory shall be deemed to be the recipient of such services from the supplier of services in the non-taxable territory. So he will be the intermediary will be deemed to be the recipient and supplying such services to the non-taxable online recipient except when such intermediary satisfy the following conditions. तो अगर ये condition satisfy कर देता है, then it will be from non-taxable supplier to the non-taxable recipient. Otherwise, it will be non-taxable supplier to intermediary and then to recipient. Subsection 2. The supplier of online information and database access or retrieval services referred to in subsection 1 shall, for the payment of IGST, take a single registration under the simplified registration scheme to be notified by the government. So he will have to take a registration compulsorily, a single registration. Now friends, please appreciate there is a clarity to this, that Bangalore में they have said कि this in Bangalore you will have, Bangalore कमिश्नरेट में आप लोग रहोगे सारे, वहां पे आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेके कंप्लाई करना है, provided that any person located in the taxable territory representing such supplier for any purpose in the taxable territory shall get registered and pay integrated tax on behalf of the supplier. तो इनका कोई भी व्यक्ति अगर यहाँ पे है किसी भी तरीके से उनके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है तो उसको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेके ये कंप्लायंस करना पड़ेगा. And provided further, if the supplier does not have any physical presence or does not have any representative also for any purpose in the taxable territory, उसका जो भी अगर आप माल खरीद रहे हो या गुड्स खरीद रहे हो या सर्विसेज ले रहे हो सब फॉरेन से ही आ रहा है, लोकल में कोई नहीं है, then he may appoint a person in the taxable territory for the purpose of paying integrated tax, and such person shall be liable for payment of such tax. So he will have to appoint a person who will be liable to pay the tax, and he will have to take the registration for the purpose of this act. So friends, this was chapter number 5 that we have discussed. So today we have discussed chapter 4 and chapter 5 of the IGST Act, and we have covered the most important provision of place of supply. Whatever queries you have pertaining to the place of supply, because I expect that there should be multiple queries of each one of you. So please raise those queries and we'll try to address those queries in the query session. If not, or if we could not take up in the query session because of the volume or because of the numbers, then certainly we have already committed that we will be complying all the responses to the queries that we have received, and it will be shared with all the participants of this particular series. So tomorrow we'll meet and we'll deal with rest of the sections of the IGST Act. Probably I expect that tomorrow we will be completing the IGST Act, and then we'll be taking up the question series day after tomorrow. So friends, once again, very thanks to all of you for this wonderful opportunity given to me, and this was a wonderful learning series for me, and I expect that I am able to add some value to your knowledge also. I'm really thankful to each one of you. Thanks. Let us meet tomorrow.